Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Week 2 stocks. And now we got the gentleman right over here who realizes he never wants to go all in, including me. Here's Chris.
Don't go all in. Don't do
go
it
all
unless
in.
you have pocket aces.
Yeah. I thought that was your strategy in poker, Chris. You just push.
yeah, just exactly. All the chips in.
And now we got the gentleman right over here who wants his 10 seconds back on this podcast. Here's Douglas.
That's true, Stu. I do want to keep this brief. So, yeah, I'll take my 10 seconds back.
So anyway, we just got done with week number 2 of the NFL season, 2024. What is your thoughts, gentlemen, about this week in this? I like to call it the stocks are going down this week. There's going to be a lot of stocks going down.
Yeah,
this is any given Sunday. Shuffling going on, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of reshuffling. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be a lot of 8s this week. My prediction. Maybe 2 8s. That's it.
Yeah, that's okay.
But anyway, we gave it the Saints a 5 last week, and I think that might switch things up. But we'll see when we get to it.
Right, like, that might be a big change there. I think this is an any given Sunday, Stu.
It's an any given Sunday right now, and it's going to be interesting right over here. So we're going to start with the Buffalo Bills losing to the Miami Dolphins really badly. Gentlemen, what is your thoughts about? I guess I will start with the Miami Dolphins absolutely getting curb stomped right now against the Buffalo Bills. Tua got injured. He is in concussion, so he's now in injury reserve right now. But it didn't really matter. They lost 31-10. Man, I do not know how I feel about the Dolphins. The Dolphins look bad against Buffalo. I don't know if Buffalo's looking good or the Dolphins look bad. But I think in my opinion right now, I'm feeling a good 5 for right now for the Miami Dolphins right now. They just don't look. I don't know. I'm just feeling not as excited for this Dolphins team right now.
Stu, do you know what I like about week 2? We can start to make like weird comparisons, like starting to think about how teams compare. So the Bills barely beat the Arizona Cardinals, but then the Cardinals destroyed the Rams. So I'm like, maybe the Cardinals and the Bills are both better than we expected. That being said, though, Miami, man, I think me and Chris both gave them like a 7 or so on the beginning. I think Chris even gave them the 8.
I did give
at the beginning of the year. Like, I think they're down to a 4 for me. I mean, Tua's out at least the next 4 games. They've, I think they won their first. They didn't even look good in their first game either. Like, you don't have your quarterback for a long time. Like, it might be dramatic, but I'm going to go with a 4.
Ooh, you're feeling a 4.
That's a great take, Doug. That was really good.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, I was hyping up on the Dolphins all preseason, giving them an 8, which is the AFC Championship game. But yeah, like Doug said, Tua's out for the next 4 games at least. He should be out for the rest of his career. I mean, that's 3 concussions.
4 concussions
in the last 2 seasons.
4 in his career.
4 in his career. All right. Well, Stu, why'd you give me a 5? I didn't say my number yet.
I'm trying. I was
trying to jump the gun here. But yeah, I mean, is it Shane Thompson or Shaq Thompson, the backup quarterback for the Dolphins? Man, I mean, the Dolphins have the right weapons offensively. Man, 5 is just missing the playoffs. I guess a 5 is their current market value.
Ooh, you're feeling a 5, which is interesting because we all gave I gave the Dolphins a 6. No, actually, the Dolphins the 6, and both of you gave them a 7. And the stock prices for the Dolphins, it's not looking good, gentlemen. I'm just saying. I think we're heading to a recession on Miami Dolphins right now. It is definitely not looking good. It is a bull market right now.
Was it just last year that Tyreek was pushing for maybe 2,000 yards?
Yeah.
What a shame, man. His numbers aren't going to be there this year.
Yeah, and that's why I will always say the Kansas City Chiefs are always good because they can get rid of Tyreek. And
the Dolphins play the Seahawks in Seattle next week. That's going to be an interesting. We'll see where the Dolphins are at next week, stock wise. That's gonna be crazy.
We're going to see how it goes right over here. Now we got to talk about the champions right now. The champions of greatness, 31-10 right now. Josh Allen literally carried this team again. So we're going to start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts?
Last week I gave them a 6, which is making the playoffs, and yeah, they're 2-0. They're looking good. I would continue with a 6 for the Bills. Yeah, head strong.
Ooh, number 6 right over there for the Buffalo Bills. Douglas, how do you feel about Bills Mafia right now?
I mean, I have a similar view to Chris. Like, they look good. We all had our doubts, but I mean, it looks like they kind of rebuilt almost in a Jim Harbaugh style way. Great defense. James Cook has been unbelievable. Bummer, of course, I had him last year in fantasy, not this year though. I mean, 3 touchdowns, like just an awesome day. I like him a lot. I mean, I think I'm feeling 7-ish for them now. Like, they're dominating Miami on the road. Starting out 2-0. Like, last year they started out bad and they finished strong, so I can only imagine what they'll do if they start strong.
Ooh, that is a very interesting point. And so, Douglas, you gave the Bills a 5. You put up 2 points right now. This is the fun part. How do I feel about Buffalo? They did beat Dolphins.
I did say stock's going to be rising too.
Their stock is going. They're a 2-0. Unlike the other 2-0s, when we get to the Chargers, when we get to talk about the Chargers, I feel like they at least beat decent competition. And I think for that matter, I feel like for right now, I do feel like they're going to make the postseason. I don't feel confident. I don't know if Buffalo is going to win a playoff game right now with this core. So I'm going to give them the 6, but I do feel a lot more confident right now in this Buffalo. I think this Buffalo team can definitely make the postseason right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be really impressive for Josh Allen to make it. Like, even though that last year was a much more better Buffalo team than this year's Buffalo team, this is actually pretty impressive. I think everyone thought they were going to be mid.
This is super random. Can I throw a just absolute random thought out there, Stu?
Yeah.
So this isn't even football related, but I watched a Dude Perfect video, and they did a tracker for every time the dude said "this bad boy" when they were talking about something. I think I want to see how many times you say "right now." Right now.
Right.
Let's get a right now tracker going right here, right now.
Right now. Right now. Are you telling me if I said that? Are you telling me if we had a shot game of basically how many times I say "right now" we would have alcohol poisoning?
You would have quite a high blood alcohol content.
We need to write down Stuart's most used phrases in this podcast and then do a tracker like that, because he says "right now" a lot, but there's several other ones that he utilizes very frequently.
I love it. I love it. We need to get frequency counts.
You're just dogging me, but it's so hilarious that one.
Right now.
Right now. And speaking of right now, we got to talk about the most disappointing choke job, probably, unless we don't want to talk about my team. I'm just saying, I don't want to talk about it. The 49ers absolutely getting curb stomped by Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings really, really badly. 17-23. I know they scored a touchdown, but it was in garbage time. Douglas, how do you feel about them 49ers?
So a couple of thoughts. For one, I feel better about I don't know, mixed thoughts. Because theoretically, them losing should be good for the Lions, but the Lions lost. But I think McCaffrey going the IR is pretty big. That's a big issue for them. I mean, game 1, it didn't matter. This game, you're kind of like, okay, you're missing the most versatile player in football right now. And I don't know. It's a weird spot for them to be in because, like you said, they got beat pretty well by Sam Darnold and the Vikings. So they're still one of the best teams in football. Their roster is amazing. I'm gonna bump them down to a 7 though. We have some concerns now.
Yeah, I'm feeling sort of the same way right now. Granted, Christian McCaffrey is now out for 4 weeks. I know he was basically on the IR last week, and then his injury was kind of worsened, so they're now out for 4 weeks. You have no Christian McCaffrey, and you did lose to a Vikings team, which I don't know if this Vikings team is good or is the 49ers being bad. Like, this is one of those I'm kind of like, is this the warning sign that they need to get better? So I do agree with you. I'm keeping the 7 right now for the 49ers, but this is definitely one of those warning signs right now where I'm like, This could be the make or break it, or they basically look like they're choke jobs right now. So
That was 4
Heck yeah.
times in that segment, Stu, that you said right now. Talking about the 49ers right now.
I mean, it is right now. I'm just saying.
You know, dude, I love how in
Um,
the moment you are.
Yes. At this podcast.
So
I'm
right
just
now
saying.
we're talking about the 49ers. So we all picked number 8 last week. And yeah, they're going down. It was a home game for the Vikings. And like Doug said, most versatile player in the NFL out for the next 4 weeks. They're still going to make the playoffs. I mean, if the 49ers don't make the playoffs with their star-studded cast, that's not in the NFL script. The NFL is not going to have that to fly by. So yes, 7. They're gonna make the playoffs somehow. They might lose 2 out of their next 4 or 3 out of their next 4, but yeah, they'll make the playoffs. They'll win. Christian McCaffrey will come back.
I mean, I just got to say this, Chris. Why did the NFL script writers have to write about the Cowboys Saints game?
Well, Stu, we're not there yet.
I know. I don't want to talk about it. I know.
Well, good news. We're going to talk about the Vikings next.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay! We got the Minnesota Vikings. So this is interesting. So like Sam Darnold has somehow is having his best career right now as a quarterback right now. He's been a journeyman. It is crazy to think. So basically for right now for the Vikings, I gave them the 4. And basically you guys both gave them 5s and 5s. Am I crazy to think that I should give the Vikings a 7? Because they beat the 49. They beat a 49ers team. I know they don't have Christian McCaffrey, but that's really good.
I mean, I don't agree with the 7, but like it's a bold take. I like it.
I think that this team looks legit. I think this team looks really good. You 2-0. Like I said, I know there's some teams when they're 2-0, and I'm just kind of like, you didn't beat the good competition.
Stu, are they good enough to win the division?
I think they're good enough to win a playoff game at this point.
All right now.
Yeah, I don't even think it matters with division. I think it's can they win a playoff game?
I know, but I was just asking if you think they're good enough to win the division.
Honestly, they do.
Nice.
Honestly,
they're in first place.
They're in first place. Everyone else is like looking like a little bit like struggle busting right now. The Vikings are not. I'm just saying.
Win the division. Well, I'll come to that question when we talk about the Lions, because that's a different thing right there about the NFC North.
Yeah.
So,
Christopher, you're up next. What is your thoughts about
the Vikings? Let's see. Last week I had them at a 5, so missing the playoffs. They're obviously Jordan Addison, wide receiver. He's out. I'm not sure how many weeks, but he's injured. He was out this past week, which he's the wide receiver 2 for the Vikings, which obviously gives Justin Jefferson more targets. And 133 yards. That one massive 97-yard touchdown pass. As long as they keep Justin Jefferson, keep giving him the ball, I'd give him a 6 to where they're currently at. Yeah, not a 7. I don't know about winning a playoff game at the current moment.
You gotta hate my hot take of the 7, man. I feel like.
I mean, I'll keep it simple. I agree with Chris. I think they're a playoff team at this point, but I don't know that I see them winning a playoff game. So I'll give them a 6.
Oh, we got the triple 6s right now. It's looking so good for Minnesota. And as the great song once said, it might get cold like Minnesota, but it's definitely warm like Minnesota.
There you go.
Warm.
Yes. The great Little Yachty once said. And now we got to talk about the Seahawks versus the Patriots. So I guess we're going to start with the first loser, the New England Patriots, who lost in this game super close, 20-23 right now in overtime. But we're going to start with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about these New England Patriots?
Let's see. Patriots, where are they on this list I'm looking at?
I think we gave them both.
Season, I gave them a 1. Last week I gave them a 2. I mean, they're following suit as we projected. Yeah, they lose to the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks are a great contender in the NFC West over there. I was expecting the Patriots to lose. So where they're currently at, I'd keep them at a 2.
Ooh,
I unfortunately didn't watch most of the game, so I have no idea how that game plan
basically
went.
they looked good. They were fighting the whole game.
Okay,
They were
gotcha.
making
I mean, it
so
went to
close.
overtime. It was an overtime loss.
So I guess
There's
maybe
no-
no, put my 2 to a 3. Like that. I mean, I guess they won their first game, second game they could have won, but went to overtime. So yeah, they're increasingly getting better from what I projected as a 1 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So Douglas, you're up next. What is your thoughts about these New England Patriots?
I mean, they're better than expected for sure. I'll be interested to see if Drake May plays at all this year. It's like they're doing well, Jacoby Brissett, so it's like kind of interesting. Like, when do you start going towards the future? Like, if they start to do poorly, will they start their rookie and get him some playing time? All that being said, I like Chris's take. I'll put him at a 3. Like, they're going to give some teams a good game, but they're not going to win many games, I don't think.
Ooh, the only one that went lower, and interestingly enough, I feel for right now the Patriots. They're 1-1, but you know what? They did lose their game, but they did go to overtime against Seattle, who's pretty much still a good team. And I can't deny how good like Seattle has been. Granted, this is Geno Smith. This is not the greatest, but they went to overtime, and it wasn't like both teams were trying to lose this game. Both teams really did try to win this game. So I feel like for right now, I don't think it can lower their score. I don't think it can higher their score. I think I'm going to keep them where I put them last time, and I think they're in the good 3 right now. As of right now. And now
2 quick ones.
And now we'll talk about the Seattle Seahawks, who are now 2-0 as of right now, beating the Patriots 2023. Gentlemen, what's your thoughts?
Was Kenneth Walker? He was out this game, right? It was Zach Charbonnet
yes.
running the backfield.
Yes, Kenneth Walker was out.
Man,
once
Kenneth Walker comes back, it's going to be even a better team. I mean, Kenneth Walker's a beast. So let's see. Last week I had him at a 6. I had him at a 6 to begin the season. And they're 2-0. So yeah, I'd keep them right at a 6 to make the playoffs. Yeah, they're cruising at the moment. 2-0.
6 right over there. Oh my goodness! And now Douglas, you get to be next right over here.
I'm just playing copycat, but I mean, I think I was really excited about this coach, like being a Harbaugh tree guy. I think he coached under both Harbaugh brothers, so it's kind of fun to see. I don't know if I still have confidence in them to win a game, so I'll stay with the 6 as well.
Yes. Now, this is very interesting because, granted, I'm just trying to think. Okay. Am I hyping this team up? Because I've been like, last take, I gave them the 5 right now. Douglas, you're keeping them the 6. They are 2-0. Granted, they did not play against really tough competition. They played against a Denver Broncos team. It's kind of close. And a Patriots team who I think is kind of mid. But on the flip side, everyone else in the NFC looks bad. I feel like the only thing, I think they're still, in my opinion, I think they're still kind of in that football hell right now. I'm going to probably still give them the 5 for right now.
What?
I feel like they need to still beat some good competition, and then maybe I'll raise them to the 6.
Man, with that logic, I'm excited to see what you give the Cowboys with that logic, Stu.
yeah. So if you're gonna put the Seahawks at a 5, that means your Cowboys have to be below at a 5 or below that.
I don't know. We'll see when we.
Cowboys are 1-1. Seahawks are 2-0. They're first in their division at the current moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feels fishy, Stu. Feels fishy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like they got to beat like a better teams, and that's why. And maybe I can put it in the 6 for right now.
All right.
I feel like they beat a Denver team who's not that good, and the Patriots who are mid. I think.
Yeah, Stewart does have good points though. Broncos are terrible. Well, not terrible, but and then the Patriots. So yeah, Stu does have a good point there.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why I gave the Vikings a much more higher score because you know what, they did beat a good team. You know what I mean? Even without all their starters, I think that's still a good score on that one. And now we got to talk about a great game: the Giants versus the Washington Commanders. who went really bad. Oh my God. I think this might be the worst game of the week.
Did the Giants score any touchdowns? I see a bunch of 6 points. Did they
it was all field goal. They did score 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and
I see Malik Neighbors had a game. Yeah, 127.
And then they try to go for 2 field goals, and basically the Commanders just kicked field goal after 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 field goal.
Wow, so 7 field goals from the Commanders.
Yeah,
Austin Siebert, nice.
Yes. so Daniel Jones didn't have a great game. So Douglas, you get to start right now. How do you feel?
What was the score of this one?
18-21. It was not a good game.
Oh, it's an interesting game, but they had 7 field goals. I feel like the Giants fans are probably feeling a slight sense of humor, hopefully, in the Saquon drop last night, because that's about all they got.
Yeah.
They let Saquon walk, which was just brutal, and they're probably regretting that even more now. They overpaid Daniel Jones. This team is just terrible. I'm just gonna give him like a 2.
What? You gave him a 2? You're still giving them a 2? What?
Well, I mean, I've seen the Carolina Panthers too.
I mean, the quarterback is about to be benched, and the coach, who was it? Brian Driscoll? Was it Dabble?
Are you like getting mad at me because I gave him a 2? Like, that's pretty terrible.
Yes, you want him to give him a 1?
No, because I'm giving him the 1. This team is garbage.
I hope they beat the Cowboys just to make this take funnier.
I know, and I feel like you're gonna rewind the tank when we get to the Saints, but just so you can trigger me. I'm just saying. But I think this team is garbage. I think their season is done. I mean, I think they honestly is just like this Giants team is just garbage, and the coach is probably gonna get fired at the end of the year. Daniel Jones is gonna be on another team next year. Mark my words. 2025, when we start doing this, that's what's gonna happen.
Wait, what's gonna happen?
The coach is going to get fired, and Daniel Jones is literally going to go to another team, and it's going to be a backup.
Oh, he's going to go to another team as a backup? Okay.
Yeah. So, Fyodor, take us off. Please let me know.
Yeah, my question is, why is Daniel Jones – this might be a rhetorical question, but why is Daniel Jones still a starting quarterback for the New York Giants? I mean, you see what they're doing with Bryce Young over there in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're already benching him.
Well, Chris, he won a playoff game 3 years ago.
Yeah, but he's bad. Do you remember week 1 of 2023, and he literally did not score a touchdown, and they lost 48-0 against the Cowboys?
Let's see. I had the Giants last week at a 1. Started them at a season as a 3. Yeah. I mean, keep them at a 1 for me. Because a 1 is either getting the first or second pick in next year's draft. And Giants and Panthers right there, neck and neck. I mean, Malik Neighbors had a great game.
Yeah.
But
and it's so interesting that Chris and I agree that the Giants season is done, and Douglas thinks that there's a 5% odds.
I think they're going to beat the Cowboys still. That's what I think.
They're not being the Cowboys. I'm just saying. I mean, granted. I mean, the great words from me when we talk about the we will not talk about the game that shall not be named. I think we'll just skip that one right now. Anyway, the Commanders are now 1-1 right now, which is weird. I did not expect. I mean, granted, this was a really not the greatest Commanders team, to be honest with you. Last week, I gave them the 3. I mean, they did lose. Okay. They did lose the Bucs by 17.
They won by 7 field goals. If you're not scoring touchdowns, how are you going to be a good team?
I know. Both teams
or a decent team at that.
Both teams look
man.
really bad. It's a
Are
really
we just
awful
discussing teams that can beat the Cowboys?
Yeah, right.
They're not going to beat the Cowboys. I'm sorry. And you know what? For right now, I'm just going to keep them at the 3. It's a garbage Giants team. You basically beat them by field goals. I'm not impressed by this team. So
Still, I'll copy your logic. Like, if we were down on the Seahawks for who they beat, we can't be up on the Commanders for who they beat. What did I have them at?
3.
Leave it there. That's great. You can't move if you don't beat somebody that's decent.
I had him at a 4 last week, but yeah, like I mentioned, you can't be a decent team or a good team that's going to improve by kicking 7 field goals, not even scoring a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go from a 4 to a 3.
Oh, I agree. I think
You guys know who they're primarily using as their running back?
Ryan Robinson.
Oh, because I know they have Austin Eckler. I know he's getting up there in age, 28, 29, but man, they got to start using him. He's quick.
Yeah, Brian. I mean, he got a good fantasy game. Like, I have him on my squad, but that Brian Robinson dude, he's a stud. Like, I've watched a few other games, and I think he's like early 20s and just awesome.
It's definitely not looking with the Commanders right now. And now we got to talk about the Chargers versus the Carolina Panthers. So, oh my goodness. I guess I'll start with the Carolina Panthers, who have been so great right now. They've been so fantastic. This team who literally decided, man, Bryce Young, you're so good right now. We got to put you on the bench right now. You're just too good right now. Getting absolutely curb stomped, 26-3. My God, worst owner of the NFL right now. And honestly, this is definitely a bust. Can we please give them the 1 just for the mercy? We just need a mercy kill these team.
Do we have a rating for 0? What's that mean? Gotta go to the Canadian football.
We can't give out 0s, but do I just need to do I need to just do command, basically just everybody the same one?
Yep, Stu, just make it easy. There's not much to talk about here.
Yeah. They scored
just
3
get out of
points.
here.
They scored 13 points this entire season. I mean, it's only 2 games in, but man.
Like, Bryce Young has set like every record for like the worst.
Well, one question: who's their starting quarterback now?
Andy Dalton. He's still in the league. He's the starter.
I can't believe Andy Dalton's still in the NFL.
Yeah, he's played with the Bengals. Then last year, I don't know where he played last year, but he has definitely. I don't even know.
Man, I'm journeyman for Andy Dalton. Like, my God, I can't believe that we're having Andy Dalton as a starter.
Like, I feel like Andy Dalton played with like Chad Ochocinco, didn't he?
I was just about to say that. I'm pretty sure I watched a highlight the other day. Like throwing to Chad Johnson, Ochocinco.
Like, he hasn't been in the league in like 10 years. Like, how old is Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton's old, and like I said,
he's going to go to the Hall of Fame for the greatest backup quarterback of all time.
I will tell you this: one of my favorite. I'll tell you this: my favorite podcast is Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. Just saying.
Nice, good call out, Stu.
Good call out right now. And now
let's get him on the next episode.
Yes, we're gonna be so famous. We're gonna get on Club Shay Shay. I'm just saying. I want to be so famous. I want to be on Club Shay Shay. That's his own podcast. I'm just saying.
Club
now
Shay
we
Shay.
got to talk about Chris, the Chargers, who absolutely curb stomped the Panthers right now.
The Chargers with that Michigan head coach and the Ohio State running back. Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. And they have the
both gave
TCU
him a
receiver
6.
and the Georgia receiver.
Yeah, so basically,
Where did Justin Herbert go to college?
Oregon.
Hey, they're part of the Big Ten now.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway,
All right, I'm going. So let's see. Chargers last week I had them at a 6, and they're one of 5 undefeated teams in the AFC. I mean, it's only the second week, but yeah, it's gonna be them and and we saw this coming. It's gonna be them and the Chiefs for the AFC West title more than likely, unless the Raiders turn it around. I'm gonna keep them at a 6. Yeah, making the playoffs.
Ooh, number 6 right here now, Douglas.
Well, J.K. Dobbins, they're saying like fantasy-wise, pick up J.K. Dobbins because he's been balling out. So yeah, if they have a good running back that a lot of fantasy analysts are talking about, heck yeah, it's something to look up upon.
All right. Sorry. I'm gonna go with the 6 as well.
Ooh, they're still keeping that 6 right now.
Yeah, like I don't know if I have confidence that they'll win a playoff game, but if I would have told you one of the Harbaugh brothers was 2-0, certainly wouldn't have expected to be Jim.
Oh my God! And would you? And would you expect one of the Harbaugh brothers was going to be 0-2? You probably thought it was going to be Jim.
Hey,
Exactly, man. Like,
their family's sitting at even 500. That's good.
maybe. Unfortunately, they can't meet in the Super Bowl now, can they? They'd have to meet in the
No.
AFC Championship.
Ooh,
No.
that'd be sick.
That would be fun,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Remember it was the 49ers versus the Ravens that one year? Harbaugh
Yeah,
versus
that was cool.
It was
That
great.
was cool.
Sure, Doug was in heaven during that time.
No,
It's in paradise.
no, I wasn't. Because I'm like, we'll never get him. We'll never get Jim to Michigan. So glad he
No.
lost that one. With all due respect, Jim.
Yes. But anyway, all right.
Sir, you had the Chargers at a 4 last week. You better move on.
I'll move them up.
Yes, dude. Get on the bandwagon, man. Get on the Harbaugh bus.
Okay. First of all, I gave him a 4 last week. Secondly, they played against the Raiders by 12 and the Chargers.
Yeah,
And
so they beat.
They beat the Panthers by like 20. Who's the Panthers? Who, if you remember, we all gave them ones. Their season.
Remember the Panthers won the Super Bowl? What was it, like 2006?
We don't care about that. That's 20 years ago. We don't care. We don't care.
Dude, Cam Newton just won MVP 8 years ago, bro.
Hey, the Lions the Brownies won a championship in the 60s with Jimbo Brown. Does that matter? It don't matter. It's all about now. Now. I want my teams and I want them now. But anyway, we're going to talk about the Chargers.
My money and I want it now. Well, J.G. Wentworth.
Anyway, so the Chargers, I feel like they played against a crummy Raiders team who did beat another team. They beat the Ravens.
Yeah, they beat the Ravens, Stu.
Exactly.
But then they did beat a crummy Panthers team.
But they didn't just beat them, Stu. That's what you're not talking about here. Like, if they snuck by, but they destroyed them.
Yeah, they won by 23.
Bryce Young had like 40 passing yards.
All right.
It was on the road, too. It was in Carolina.
Exactly, Stu. Stop being a hater.
All right. I will raise them up, but only to the 5 for right now.
That's weak, Stu.
So is that their current market value? I mean, they're 2-0.
But so is the same.
So Stu, are you going to put the Ravens out of the playoffs as well?
Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk. When we get to the Ravens.
That's a good question to ponder.
There's going to be some tank stocks right now. I'm just saying. I feel like for right now, I'll give them the 5. But hear me out. They beat the Steelers. I'll give them the 6.
Oh, do they play the Steelers this week?
Yes, this week.
Oh,
is that Pittsburgh or is that
at Pittsburgh right now?
Oh, that's going to be a fun game. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
So I will tell you that if they can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, I will give them the 6. But until then, they got to beat really good teams. I'm just saying. And now we're going to skip these 2 teams right over here. Oh, I'm just kidding. Why?
Oh, Stu, I was confused when we went to the Cowboys first, and I remember they got destroyed.
Yeah, winning team goes second, losers go first.
Oh, man.
At home against Derek Carr. We gave up 44 points against Derek freaking Carr. Why? We went all in to bring back Zeke. For what?
I don't think Zeke gave up 44 points, Stu.
It was the defense. It was Dak. We paid Dak $60 million to lay an egg like that.
They had 19 points, 16 more than the Panthers.
We give up 44 points against the Saints. And now I feel like you're just
the Saints also have one of the best first half offenses in the league, though.
And I feel like you're gonna, guys. If we had the good editing, we would clip the part where I'm just saying, I think Derek Carr is not that great of a quarterback. I think.
I mean, no worries. So I can interject that for you. That's where I was going to go with this.
We gave up 6. 44 points. It was bad. 2 interceptions, 44-19. Does this what all in means to you, Jerry? Do I really have to? You know what? I'm going to say it. When Jerry passes to the great beyond, I'm singing Ding Dong, the witch is dead, the wicked witch, the wicked witch. You have not done anything relevant since you fired Jimmy Johnson. And that's been 95. Do you remember the time when you argued with Jimmy
Whoa.
and you said that I can get you 30 coaches that can win me Lombardis? Jerry, it was totally Jerry that was the reason why. It wasn't coaching.
I
Wow.
hope Jerry listens to our podcast. This would be great for him to get an earful of
I
Steelers.
despise you, and I know I might be going to you in November to AT&T Stadium, but still, you,
Give him your money.
but still.
Oh man, I should have seen if they were playing. I'm going to be in Dallas in 2 weekends. I should have seen if they had a home game.
I can actually check.
Well, I mean, I'm already flying out before the game, though. I'm flying out at like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it. What a shame.
Oh, actually,
I would
it's a
like to go to
Thursday game.
Jerry's World.
Actually,
I'll
it's
leave a
actually
third.
yeah, and it's actually in New York. So unless you fly to New York,
No,
Is it
that's
against
not
the Jets
worth
or the
it.
Giants?
they're playing against the Giants, and they're playing.
That's gonna be a good game with both teams
Oh,
sucking right
dude, do you know
How
who the
dare you!
Cowboys? Stu, do you know who the Cowboys play this week too? Another amazing game.
They're playing against Baltimore.
They play against. But what a game! Wow. Like if Baltimore goes to 0-3, they're done. But if the Cowboys lose, they're sitting at 1-2. Man, oh man, what a scenario!
I think
Is that game in Baltimore or in
All
Dallas?
right. I just want. Why are we at the locale of the week? Why? We're supposed to be America's team, not America's embarrassment.
Stuart, America's team has moved to Detroit. That's where.
Not this week. Not this week.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
You were not. You were booing Jared Goff. We'll get you.
Hey, just give us your wrap up on the Cowboys here.
All right. Okay. All right. For right now, they did get curb stomped. I'm feeling a lot of warning signs. I feel like I got to give them the 5 right now. We'll see how they do. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
wow.
I love it, Stu. I love it.
I'm so mad about this game. I think if they beat Baltimore, maybe I'll put them up to the 6. But like honestly, this is the big warning sign right now.
That's impressive. I was not expecting Stu to go that low.
No, me neither. No.
To start the season, I gave him a 6. Last week, I gave him a 7 when they beat the Browns. I'm just going to go back down to a 6 because right now, I mean, they're still 1-1 playoff contention. If the playoffs started today, they might miss the playoffs by a couple points. I'm not sure how tiebreakers work really, but they would be right there on the brink of making the playoffs if the playoffs started today.
You know, Stu, I'll be nice here. I'll be nice. Because I also think that this game is more about how good the Saints are than how bad the Cowboys are. Like, I still think the Cowboys are a playoff team. I mean, we saw how good their defense was against the Browns. So, like, I still think they're a playoff squad, though. I'm not quite as big of a hater with a 5 on this one.
All right, you're going to give them the 6. I can't believe it. Everyone else is giving the 6. I honestly do feel like this is the warning sign, and I feel like they need to improve right now, or I feel like if they lose against the Ravens, I think this is a bad sign.
I can't wait till next week.
I'll put them at a Yeah, I'm not for sure put them at a 5 if they lose to the Ravens.
I might put them at a 4. I'm that mad.
Stuart is crushing hard on in a negative way about these Cowboys. I love it.
We're not supposed to give up 44 points against the Saints!
Well, Stuart, I did mention the Saints have the best first half offense in the league.
We made Derek Carr look like Brock Purdy.
You compliment Brock Purdy a lot. Like, is he that good?
I think so.
Like, I feel like Brock Purdy is like maybe top 10 quarterbacks to me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know why you keep comparing these great performances to Brock Purdy.
We made Derek Carr look like he's Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady reincarnated. Why did we lose to them? But anyway, all right, we're going to go back to the Saints. All right, Christopher, take this misery out of me. Let's just talk about the Saints.
So, Saints, it's cool. We all picked them at a 4 week 1 or preseason. Last week, we all have them at a 5. And the way they're playing, Derek Carr, he's clicking in down in the Bayou. And then Kamara, he's having an MVP season so far. We're only 2 weeks in, but MVP season at the moment. 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna put him at a 6 this week.
Nice.
Yeah, they're the best team in the NFC currently. So yeah.
Ooh, you're gonna go with 6
Yeah.
right there.
You know. Oh, I
Right
like
now.
it. I like it. Well, I'm gonna put him at a. I was debating. I'm gonna go with a 7 just because of what Chris just said. Like they're the best team in the NFC right now. So if they're currently they just beat a team that we all regarded as a 7 last week, convincingly. So I would have confidence that if they played at this level, they would win a playoff game.
Okay, sir, can you change mine to a 7? I like exactly what Doug said because they beat the Cowboys, who we had at a 7 last week, and if the playoffs started today, a lot of teams would fear the Saints.
I think the Saints
Playing
look
them in
good.
the first round. So I would agree.
Alvin Kamara's looking good.
That.
Derek Carr just probably had his best career right now in a while. Man, honestly, if Derek Carr makes the postseason, he might get comeback of the year. I think that he might be comeback player of the year. But do I feel like that they're 7, or do I have to wait and see? I think I'm more of a wait and see, but I do feel like I should give them the 6. That's respect for right there. For right now, I think they're definitely in that 6 right now.
All right now.
I hope that because the Saints are trending upward on our stocks. I hope they don't start descending. I hope they can stay at a 6 or 7. That'd be sweet. I love the Saints. They're good.
Yeah, they're a fun team. They're a fun team.
And speaking of teams that are not as fun, the Indianapolis Colts lost 10-16 against the Green Bay Packers and a backup quarterback.
Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Willis.
Yes, a Malik Willis team. So we'll start without you, Fyodor. What is your thoughts about these Colts?
Colts are 0-2. Let's see real quick. Last week I had them at a 6. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson, 3 interceptions, 204 yards. I know he had a throwing touchdown, but, man, I'm definitely going to move him down from a 6 to a the last 2 weeks I had him at a 6. All right, here we go. They're going to be at a – based on the way they're playing, they're not going to be close to making the playoffs. Put them at a 4.
Yeah. I'll make it quick.
I was like, Anthony Richardson is coming back from an injury. But what's Jonathan Taylor? Is Jonathan Taylor doing anything?
No, I got him on my fantasy team. Not much. Not much.
All right. Throwing duds. Nice.
Give me the 4 as well, Stu. You lost, like you said, to a backup quarterback. You did nothing on offense. Get out of here.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, last week I feel vindicated for how I felt about the Colts. You guys gave him the 6s, which I'm like, no, actually, Fyodor, you got him the 6. Douglas, you gave him the 5. What were you thinking, Fyodor, on that one last week? I do not know how you gave him a higher score.
I think it's because they played it close against the Houston, right?
Yeah, but
they gave Houston a good game, I thought, in week 1.
Yeah, but I feel like for the last 2 weeks, they're 0-2, which is not a good sign of making the postseason. Granted, we had teams that went 0-2, like the Bengals, 2 years ago. They did make it to the postseason and did make it far. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make the postseason. So I'm going to give them the 3 right now. I think the Colts are in a really bad spot right now. And if they lose next week, then I'm definitely thinking they might go in a lower score.
Do we know who the Colts play next week?
Let me check. I can actually check right there. And then speaking of which, Fyodor, Douglas, you're up next. You've got to talk about your rival. How do you feel about your Green Bay Packers? Oh, the Bears. They're playing against the Bears.
Oh, yeah, at home against the Bears. That should be an easy win, but can't wait to talk about the Bears.
But on the Packers, I mean, I give a lot of credit to their coach because, you lose your QB and you still find a way to win. They're a gritty bunch. I feel like they're still a playoff contender. I probably gave them like a 6 last week, and I want to stay there at a 6.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, you're going to give them the double sixes right now. I cannot believe it. So, interestingly, last week for me, I gave the Packers a 4 just because they lost that one. They did lose to a Colts team that I don't think is that great, and I think they're kind of losing in my stock value. But they are 1-1. They did win a game. I thought their season might be a little bit tougher, but they did with their chinny chin chin win this game 16-10. So I think I'm going to probably improve them to the 5. I don't know if this team is still going to make the postseason or not. I'm still a little bit worried because they still have that long ways of road. But they still have at least 5 more weeks until, at maximum, until Jordan Love comes back. So I'm still going to probably give them the 5. We'll see if they can win a couple games. Like I said, this is like the insurance policy. They need to get that done. So, Fyodor.
You said Jordan Love is out at least 5 weeks?
Yeah, 5 weeks maximum, basically. So last week he was out for
maximum or at least?
4 to 6 weeks. So I always go for the maximum. So 6.
Okay,
so
wow.
5. So it's going to be 5 more weeks, basically.
Gotcha. I mean, NFC North, that division's looking tough, especially since we all kind of projected the Lions to win the division. They're saying second. Packers are in last. I think because they have the most points against. I'm not really sure how the tiebreaker works. Anyways, doesn't matter. Jordan Love's out for 5 weeks on average. Oh, man. And last week I gave the Packers a 5. I'm going to keep them at a 5. I think, the coach, he won with Malik Willis. If he can win, 2 or 3 out of the next 5 games, they could still sit pretty. But it's going to be a tough division right there to try to get in the playoffs with.
All right. We'll see if the Packers can go, and will Douglas eat some cheeseheads? I'm just saying.
Do I love Force too?
And speaking of teams, we can start with the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. And I will go first. The Jaguars lost against the Brownies. Close, but no cigar right now, and made them the Clownies 18-13. And Trevor Lawrence did not get that interception, get that lateral touchdown at the end. So, what do I feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Boy.
Yeah, got that safety right there. They're now 0-2. That's not a good sign. I think the 0-2 sign is definitely not a great thing. So last week I gave them the 5. It was against a really bad Browns team.
Say a really bad Browns team. Thanks, Stu.
I'm sorry, but I have to be honest. And I feel like for right now, I got to lower them down to the 3. That's not good. That's not a good sign right there. Wow. Jacksonville is not looking good. I think Trevor Lawrence is not that great of a quarterback as of right now. And I think they overpaid him. They overpaid a mediocre quarterback.
I think a lot of these teams are overpaying their quarterbacks. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it started with Deshaun Watson. That was a trickle effect. All these teams like, oh, yeah, we got to sign our quarterbacks to these massive extensions. Otherwise, they're going to leave.
The Browns ruined the league. The Browns ruined the league. The Browns ruined the league.
Yeah, they did.
Thanks a lot, Haslams.
Yeah, because you love the Haslams, right? Right, Fyodor?
They're the owners of the pilot stations, the pilot gas stations you see on the highway. And
respect. Those are nice establishments.
A lot of oil.
So who do you love more? Who do you think you love more? The Haslams, you loving the Haslams, or me liking Jerry Jones?
I mean, I like the Haslams more because they own the Columbus Crew, and the Columbus Crew won the MLS Cup last year. They also won the America's Cup this past year. I'm not sure what it was called. But yeah, Columbus Crew doing work. So he knows how to run a football team in the sense of soccer, but maybe not an actual football team. Anyways, we're talking about the Jaguars here. Yeah, it's time not to panic, but to be worried for the Jaguars if you're a fan. They're 0-2. They're going to play the Bills next week in Buffalo.
They wish they'd play against them next year.
Well, they're going to play. So, yeah, next week in Buffalo. Yeah, offensively, they didn't really do much from what I saw against the Browns. So I had them we all had them at a 5 last week. I'm going to put them at a I'm gonna agree with you, Stu. Nah, I'm gonna put him at a 4.
Ooh, you can give him the 4 right now.
Yeah, I also land on the 4.
Ooh.
I think that they'll. If I put a stock to drop, I'd probably pick them because I think they'll likely lose to Buffalo. And you're at 0-3, but like for right now, I still have some optimism that they can play with some of the better teams. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I made a mistake by taking this team to the postseason when we did the draft. That was bad. That was a bad hot take. I feel like that was the worst hot take. I feel like you just need to smack me right in the face, be like, "Why did you pick Jacksonville right now?" And now we got to talk about the Brownies, who went from the Clownies back to the Brownies. So, Christopher, since you're a Browns fan, how do you feel about the Browns against?
That's right. Yeah. You guys both picked Jacksonville to make the playoffs preseason. Anyways, to the Browns, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Browns now. I mean, I still don't like Deshaun Watson as our quarterback. He still has a couple things to work on. But
And also a couple allegations he needs to work on. I'm just saying.
What was that?
And a couple allegations he needs to work on.
Yeah. I think we only scored one touchdown that game. I know we scored in the first quarter a touchdown. Anyways. Because Dustin Hopkins kicked 3 field goals. So, 1 touchdown. We can't be a good team if we're only scoring 1 touchdown a game. But anyways, we're playing at home next week against the New York Giants. We're sitting 1-1 in our division, which that's going to be another tough division, the AFC North, which is second place right now. Browns, let's see, last week I had them at a 4. Move them up to a 5. Nah. Current market value, give the Browns a 6.
Yeah. Oh man.
What?
It's gonna be a roll. I feel like the Browns, their market value, maybe with the Saints, their market value is gonna be, or their stock's gonna be changing it's kind of
Oh my God! Why? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's an interesting take. Can I tell this is a really silly story. This is the story of my terrible drafting in fantasy football. I had faith that Amari Cooper could get more than 3 catches for 11 yards. What in the world? I got him. I got AJ Brown who's out. I got T Higgins who doesn't play. Terrible drafting. Just miserable. Amari Cooper better get it going. That was terrible.
I think
I lost.
I was throwing more to Jerry Jeudy than anyone on the team.
What a situation. I agree with you, Chris. I think current market value, I think they're a 6 as well. I think they still have the defense to do it. I think they're only going to get better as they get more repetition together. Nick Chubb's going to be back in a couple of weeks. Lots of reasons to be excited, I think.
Plus, we got the tough team. Well, we still have to play the Eagles, but because we play the NFC East, so the Cowboys where I lost to, we had to play the Eagles. That's gonna be a tough game. But then we play the Giants next week, and eventually we play the Commanders. So those should be 2 wins right there. So things might be looking up for the Browns.
All right. I mean, they beat the Jaguars
in Florida, though,
and a team that you said was going to the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys both said they were going to the playoffs.
All right. I feel like the Browns. Okay, after their embarrassing loss against the Cowboys,
I'll take that.
They did beat the Jaguars, who are kind of mid. I will give them the credit to going high, but I feel like for right now, I can only give them the 5, just because I don't know if I think this team is going to make the postseason or not. I just don't feel as confident right now on the Cleveland Brownies. I know they're not the Clownies right now, but we'll see. We got to see how next week goes. I'm just saying.
I respect that. I was going to put them at a 5, but then I moved to a 6, so I'm right in between a 5 and a 6. So I respect that 5s too.
Yeah. I'm just I do not feel confident to put them at the 6 because I don't think this team could make it to the 6 until otherwise. And now we got to talk about the greatest game right now. The Tennessee Titans, who now lost another game. against the JETX Jets, 17-24. Douglas, you go first right now. What do you think about the awful 0-2 Tennessee Titans?
Thanks for framing that for me, Stu. Oh man, I don't know. It's hard to have a lot of thoughts on them. Like, I don't think they're all that good of a football team. What did I have them at last week?
You had them at, let me look right here. You had the Titans at a 4.
Yeah, that's about, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to bump them down to a 3.
Wow, you think they're going to be that bad?
Yeah, I'm not liking it.
I'm not liking this one on the Tennessee Titans. I honestly feel like I gave them the 3 last week. You did lose the Jets, who I don't think are that good now. I got to give them the 2. I think this team, I don't think they're in the colossal one, but I just don't think this team's that good. Like, you lost to the Jets. They're 0-2. I think they're probably the weakest of the 0-2s, barring the Giants and Panthers. I just don't think this team's that good.
Jeez,
so, Christopher,
all the way down to a 2, Stu? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope that this team, I put them preseason as a 3, last week as a 3. So I'm going to see if Tennessee will stay as a 3 the entire season, see if they'll just stay nice and level.
Wow.
So give them another 3 for me.
3 Triple Crown 3s right now. Oh, my God.
No, not 3. Well, 3 for me, yeah. But, yeah, I thought you were talking about, like, all 3 of us.
Oh, no, I meant you gave them Triple Crown 3, so. I think 3's my lucky number,
3 weeks in a row, all 3s.
Yes, and now I get to talk about the
Titans don't really know what they're doing in their running back position. But, yeah, now we move on to the Aaron Rodgers and the JETX.
Jets. Fireman Ed is so happy right now because they beat a mediocre Tennessee Titans team. How do I feel about the Jets? The Jets. Well, last week I gave the Jets a 4. It's a mediocre Jet. I don't know. I mean, they did beat them 24-17, but it's against a Tennessee team that I don't think is that good. And I'm not really impressed with their wins. Not really impressed with Aaron Rodgers. I think this is going to be his last year before he retires. This feels like Big Ben. This feels like, Eli Manning when they were like the shell of themselves and they're just not that elite quarterback anymore. I think I'm still going to keep him at the 4 for right now just because I'm just not impressed with their win at this point. So now, Christopher, you're up next.
Let's see. Jets preseason, I had him at a 7. I really rode high with them.
5.
Yeah, last week I gave him a 5. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers might be turning things around. He had 2 touchdowns, in that game, and only sub 200 passing yards at 176. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch a lick of that game, but I mean, seems like Aaron Rodgers is doing pretty good. So I am going to keep the Jets from last week at a 5 for this week.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Douglas, you need to defend your 6.
Oh.
You gave him a 6 last week. Why did
Defend
you
your
give him a
6, Doug?
Oh, yeah, that's easy, man. Aaron Rodgers is back.
God, you gave him a higher score because Aaron Rodgers is there.
Oh, man. Yeah, give him a 6. Keep him at the 6.
Oh, my God, no.
Did they not win?
No, I'm just going to fall
They
down.
did win, yeah.
No.
Huh?
You just collapsed me. No.
I honestly think they're going to be a pretty good team. Like, I like what their defense is doing. I think Rodgers is going to get more and more reps with Garrett Wilson, Lazard. Big Mike Williams comes back soon, Stu. Brees Hall is still amazing. They still have a really good defense. I don't see what is there not to like about this team.
It's the Jets.
Doug has a good point.
Unbiased,
they start using that backup running back, Braylon Allen, this past week.
I'm unbiased, Stu. I got to give my honest opinion.
My God! I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God! You just gave me I'm sorry. I'm just like falling down and collapsing because this is like, what is wrong with you people? Why?
This is Doug's third straight week picking him as a 6. I hope he goes all 18 weeks as a 6.
All right. If you go all 18 weeks, if maybe they prove me wrong and they beat two good teams, but they beat the Titans, who are not that good. Did you see that score? I gave them a 2.
Hey man, I'm just spitting facts over here, Stu. Back off.
I know that's your opinion, and your opinion is garbage. So
That's true. Current market value.
But speaking of opinion,
playoff hunt.
we got to talk about your favorite team right now. Oh my god. We have to talk about your favorite team right now. Douglas, you're going to give this team such a good score right now. How do you feel about your
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have my question marks here. Like they went to overtime with the Rams, who just got destroyed by the Cardinals. And I don't know, man. Aiden Hutchinson had a huge day, but Jared Goff just didn't have it, man. Like they're not throwing the ball to Laporta. They're not moving the ball effectively. Like they had 2 chances to have clutch game-winning drives, and they failed twice. They failed at the end of the first half. It was just like such a poorly coached and executed game. And coming from a team that brought back their coach, both coordinators, and a bunch of other guys, it's really disappointing to see how inconsistent the offense is. Like they have every reason to have gotten better, and they've gotten worse. Like they're not really passing well. The receivers aren't getting open. They're just not really good on offense, and there's no reason they shouldn't be like a top 3 offense in the league. Amazing offensive line, really great running back duo, really good pass catchers, Aiden Hutchinson in the defense. So pretty disappointed in the execution, but I'll still give them a 7.
Ooh, so lowering it down from the 8 to the 7.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I still think they should win a game, but like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I just feel like that for the Lions for right now, they did not look great. Goff was off. Hutchinson looked good. But why didn't you use the run game? Why are we doing passing? I'm just confused. Why did they make so many bad penalties? I'm just saying. But to be frank, Tampa I do think is a good team. Baker does look good. I can't lower him really down. I'm really concerned. I don't know if this team's going to make the postseason, make the NFC Championship like last time. But I still think they're going to be. I still kind of agree with Douglas on this one. I'm going to give him the 7 for right now. And now, Fyodor, you're up next.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, all 3 of us picked the Lions as the number 8, so making the AFC Championship game. Yeah, like Doug said, why are they not using Sam Laporta? He was supposed to be the best tight end coming into this season, and they're not utilizing him whatsoever for the most part. So yeah, the way they've been playing, like Doug said, they went to overtime against the Rams. Yeah, they were successful in that, and then they lose at home against to the Lions. Oh man, their current market value, the way I'm seeing it, I mean, yeah, they would still make the playoffs if the playoffs started today. But the way they're playing, I don't think they would be able to win a playoff game.
Oh,
Wow.
And the way they're currently playing. So yeah, put them as a 6 from me.
Wow. Another 6 right over there.
I'm not sure who they're playing next week. Let me see if I can get a quick look on that.
Oh, I can look it up.
They're
They're
in
playing the
Arizona.
Cardinals at Arizona.
Yeah, that's a low key, man. That's a tricky game.
That's a trap game right there. I'm not gonna lie. That could be a trap game for you, Douglas.
I mean, I'm nervous about Stu. Like, as somebody that frequents Arizona, was there last week.
We'll come to Arizona because I got something to say about the Cardinals. I'm going in favor of the Lions for that game, but yeah, once we go to the Cardinals, I'll say something about the team.
Could I start talking about the Buccaneers here, though?
Yeah, let's have you start it up, Douglas. You get to go first.
Well, man, oh man, all of a sudden the NFC South looks exciting. Like, from what we thought would be kind of a trash division, now all of a sudden we got the Saints looking great, the Buccaneers looking great, the Falcons beating the Eagles. Like, their 3 best teams just beat 3 of the other best teams, you know? The Buccaneers just took out the Lions, the Saints just took out the Cowboys, and the Falcons just took out the Eagles. Like, who would have thunk the NFC South is looking great? I'll give the Buccaneers an 8, man. They're solid. I mean, they're just as much.
Wow, you think they're going to make the postseason?
Wait, did I
Oh
say
my!
8? Did I say 8? I meant 7.
Oh my God! I was like,
Like,
I got a little
what?
too excited. I was kind of between thoughts there. Like, I think they're going to be phenomenal. Like, Baker's just a baller, man. Like, I don't know what Cleveland was doing there.
I mean, I just got to say another thing. Every time when I do this podcast, when I think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do you miss Baker yet, Chris? Do you miss him?
I'll say it all the time. Absolutely.
I mean, especially since you have a good, great moral character in Deshaun Watson as your quarterback.
Could you imagine if Baker Mayfield wins the Super Bowl? Like, that'd be unreal.
How are you gonna feel? How are you gonna feel, Chris, if Baker Mayfield wins the Lombardi?
I will say something. Baker Mayfield has Mike Evans, who consistently gets 1,000 yards receiving every single season. Whereas the Browns, we don't have Amari Cooper. Yeah, I think he had 1,000 yards last year, but we don't have that consistency in our wide receiver.
Well, that's because of your bad quarterback play. If Amari Cooper had Baker, he'd put up 1,000 yards.
If we had Joe Flacco again, he'd be putting up 1,000 yards as well.
He did last year, yeah. This year he's going to have 3 catches for 11 yards.
Oh,
4.1 passing point.
let's go! Anyway, how do I feel?
You just wait, dog. You just wait.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wait, maybe next week I'll get 4 points.
Let's get 4 points. Anyway, I feel the Buccaneers looked really good. I mean, especially when Baker did that juke move, and then he basically and I remember the announcer was talking about who had a better juke move. Was it Barry Sanders or was it Baker Mayfield right now?
No, that's how good he is, man. He's as good as the best running back ever, and he's looking like Peyton Manning out there throwing the ball. What a stud, dude.
What a stud. Honestly, this is like there's like 3 people I could honestly say could be comeback of the year, and I think Baker could be on that list. I know he made the postseason last year. He won a playoff game, but
dude, can I tell you my favorite ever non-Michigan college football moment?
You're gonna talk about the one with
Baker Mayfield waving that flag and sticking it into the Ohio State middle. Wow, dude, he is just the ultimate. He is the ultimate Ohio troll. He is the ultimate Ohio troll. He wanted to get out of Cleveland so then he could win the Super Bowl and troll him for life.
I know.
What a guy! I love Baker.
I'm just saying. Did you wish that they would have done that to the Lions Stadium? Just put the Tampa flag and send them to Ford Field.
You know, I would have respected it. I would have been like, he's just a straight up North killer.
You know, be cool.
Dude lived for
Brown Buccaneers Super Bowl, and Baker waves a Tampa Bay flag. I mean, it's not going to be in Cleveland because that Super Bowl is never going to happen in Cleveland unless we build a dome. Anyways, and just waves in the middle of the flag or even in our end zone on the logo in the Super Bowl. That'd be sweet.
That's how it's going to end right there. The Buccaneers beating the Lions, and he's going to do it to the Lions in the NFC Championship. Then he's going to do it to the Browns the next week.
And then he
they'll do it to the Cowboys first. Cowboys, then Lions, then Browns.
No!
That's how all of our seasons end.
I'm just like sleeping right now. No, I don't want Baker Mayfield. No, why did you do this? No. Anyway, I gotta give the Buccaneers a 7. I think they're looking really good right now. I think this team is looking really solid. I think they're just kind of crazy. I feel like last year they finished at the 7, and I feel like that they're probably even a lot better than they are last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna agree with you guys on the 7. Put me as a 7 because what I've been realizing, we haven't really been giving too many people 7s or 8s, and we need to start doing that because who's gonna win? Who's the market value for a team that's gonna win or make it to the AFC Championship or the
for every drop there should be an equal and opposite spike up.
But I feel like it should be. Do you feel confident that this team's going to make the NFC Championship?
True.
I feel like I'm not as confident with anyone in the NFC. NFC, AFC, that might be a different story, but we'll discuss that when we get to there. And then we got to talk about the Raiders. Curb-stompingly embarrass the Baltimore Ravens right now, losing to them, probably having the 2 game of the week worst, probably number 3 of the worst choke jobs of this season, right? Of this week. Probably got to go to Baltimore. I'm not going to lie. Cowboys number 1. I probably would put the Rams number 2, and I think I'd probably put the Ravens at number 3 as a really bad. I know it's any given Sunday. This is not good. They're 0-2 right now. It's not looking good right now. I would be nervous right now if I'm a Ravens fan.
And those 3 quick ones.
Yeah,
Right now.
I feel like we gave them. Where do we? Actually, I should look at what was the score. I know they lost badly.
Was it 26-24 or something like that?
Yeah, it was 26-24. Yeah. 26-24. 26-23. Lamar did not look good. Gardner Minshew looks a lot better. They're 0-4. I got to get them down to the 4. I know last week I gave them the 7.
Nice.
They're 0-2, and it's against a really crummy Raiders team.
4.
So,
What?
yeah, I'm lowering that stock down to the 4. This is definitely the panic button, and I think if they lose to the Cowboys this week, this is the panic button that they need to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this upcoming game, Dallas versus the Ravens. You guys said, is it Baltimore or is it in Dallas?
It's in Dallas.
This will be the deciding, well, not the deciding game on the season, but a really big turning game for everyone's season. I had the Ravens as a 7 the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, the way they've been playing and the way how they're not winning their last 2 games of the season. Man. Oh man, jeez. I'd put them at a 5. A 5.
Wow.
It's hard to see the Ravens not making the playoffs, but current market value, how they've been playing, yeah, they can't be making the playoffs if they're winless.
All right, Douglas, am I being harsh on the Ravens, or am I correct?
Correct. I mean, I think you're projecting a little bit. I think you're assuming that they're going to lose to the Cowboys. So I think you're already counting that loss against them. But I mean, I don't think they're a 4 yet. I mean, I don't think I'm taking them from an 8 to a 4 after 2 losses, especially the first one being to the best team in the league by a toe.
Was to a really bad Gardner Minshew and a Raiders team.
You know, and then there's that, and that's the problem. So that's where, like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time with them. King Henry kind of looks like he's lost a step. In all honesty, like, I watched him, and he didn't go anywhere. Like, he got kind of stopped at the line a lot. I was a little bit surprised to see him get stuffed so many times. I mean, I agree with Chris. I think they're a 5. Like, I think if they beat the Cowboys, they're right back up to like a 6. But if they lose, then it's kind of panic. You know, you're 0-3.
Yeah, I think that I might go lower down to the 3 at that point, because it's like you lost 3 games in a row, and that's not a good sign. So, I guess we'll start with you, Christopher. Are the Ravens getting bad or are the Raiders good? I'm confused.
Ravens are getting bad, but like I said, that's deciding on next week's game. Raiders,
they're 1-1.
Wow, we had the Raiders. We pretty much all had them as a 3 the last 2 weeks. I know Stu last week you had them as a 2. But man, I mean, yeah, with that big win in Baltimore, that was in Vegas, right? Or was that in Baltimore?
That was at Baltimore.
Yeah, that was a huge win for them. And currently, if the playoffs started today, they'd be making the playoffs. Man, but it's hard to go give them a 6 though. Yeah, so I had them at a 3 the last 2 weeks.
I will literally drive all the way to Cleveland to just smack you, and then drive all the way back.
Ring my doorbell and
if you gave the Raiders a 6.
Do it, Chris. I want to see him make the drive. Live stream your drive, Stu.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to leave right now. Sorry, guys, gotta go.
Sure, don't forget your keys. Get your keys.
I'm getting my keys.
If I was just sitting on this video and Stu showed up in your background, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, Stu just comes right through the door and smacks me. Give him about 2.5 hours.
It'd be amazing.
Raiders at a 5. It's because they're in a tough division. 2 of the teams are 2-0. And like I said, they'd be making the playoffs today if the playoffs started today. But yeah, with the division they're in, 5 for sure.
Yes, they were in the 5. Now, Douglas, how do you feel about the Raiders?
I still got them at a 4 personally. I think, I don't know. I mean, that was a nice win, but like you said, we're kind of putting our trust in these teams. I just don't trust the Raiders. Like
No.
for some reason, I feel like it was more fluky than like a sustainable thing.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with more Douglas on that one. I think I'm gonna put him the 4 because you know what? Granted, last week I gave him the 2, but I still feel like that this, this is at least a good win against a Lamar Jackson who did make it to the NFC Championship. That's a good
Who
one.
was the
But then on the other
MVP?
hand, they did lose to the Chargers, who I don't think are that good.
The Chargers are
But
2-0, Stu.
I know, I know. Let you can call me a Harbaugh hater. You can call me a Justin Herbert hater. I don't care. They're just, I don't know. I'm not impressed. So
I'll
for
be
right
at
now,
Allegiant Stadium in 2 weeks. The 29th.
we'll see how they go.
See the
But I'm
Raiders.
definitely not impressed with the LA Raiders right now.
You
I'm
mean the
sorry, the
LV
Vegas
Las
Raiders. No, they
Vegas.
originally were the LA Raiders. I know it's so confusing. I've always called them Oakland, and it's like it's so confusing. The Vegas Raiders. But anyway, next we got to talk about the Rammies getting absolutely curb stomped. Probably the second worst embarrassment loss right now. You know what? Let's start with Douglas, since you are a former Stafford fan to now Stafford still a fan, but
Uh,
for the embarrassment.
I mean, I'll keep it short. Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua are out. I think Cup is going to go down for a few weeks. Like without those guys, like they already got destroyed. I'm going to put them in a 4.
You think they're in the 4 right now? They're 0-2. Um, this is a tough one because, like I said, Cardinals. I do feel like they're rising stock a little bit more, but is it more they're doing better or the Rams doing bad? I know. I feel like I'm very much a down. I feel like I'm turning into like the hater right now. It's like I'm drinking this isn't just water. I'm just drinking haterade right now because I'm just hating on these teams, how they're looking. I gave them 5 last week. They looked really bad. And they still even had Cap Stafford on garbage time, and he still got sacked.
I mean, they lost by 31 points. Like
Yeah,
they got,
I'm gonna give him the 3. I think if you're 0-2 and you had an embarrassing loss, I know that was in Arizona, but still, you should be at least competitive. I feel like I'm just feel like I'm just losing all their hope for right now for the Rammies. So I think I'm gonna give them for the 3.
Yeah, I mean, like Doug said, they lost Puka Nakua. Now they're losing Cooper Cup. It's not looking promising. I know they have Kyren Williams as their back in their backfield. Last week I had him at a 6. First week I had him at a 4. So I'm gonna drop them back down to the 4 spot.
Oh wow! So and also Theodore, you gave the Rams last week a 6. So
And I did.
wow! Everybody went down 2 stocks level for the Rams.
Yeah.
Everybody did not. Yeah,
sometimes it's about how you lose, and they got just destroyed.
they got just destroyed. And now, interestingly, you lived in Arizona, Douglas. You want to start about them Cardinals and how you feel about Kyler Murray?
I was in Arizona last week, Stu. It's a good time down there.
You give
Kyler
good
Murray,
luck for
man.
the Cardinals.
Kyler Murray looks good. Like I'm real nervous about my Lions going down there this week. Marvin Harrison showed why he was picked. What was it, 4th overall? Like what a game. Well, I mean, I guess really a first half. I don't think he did anything after that, but he didn't need to. I mean, I didn't watch much of this game, but just seeing the domination, you got to feel good. I mean, they gave the Bills a game. I'm going to put them all the way up to a 6 still. Like, I think
Wow.
seeing them, like they gave Buffalo a game and then they just destroyed the Rams. Like, I think that, honestly, I kind of think they might beat the Lions this week and then we'll feel pretty good about them.
Which is so interesting because last week I gave them the 2, and you gave everybody 5. I think I might improve them up. I think this is more of a mid team. I think they did destroy the Rams, and that's a good team. But do I need to put them up? You know what? I feel like that this is at least a good team. I think they could be in that football hell division right there. I think I'm going to give them the 5. Look at that. Huge bump up
That's
right
a big
now.
increase. Yeah, from a 2 to a 5.
Yeah, I do
That's
feel like
good.
a lot more confident right now. And I honestly am thinking, and Douglas is talking about it, I do think this could be a trap game for the Lions. I honestly do feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's the thing I mentioned like 5 or 10 minutes ago about the one thing I wanted to bring up with the Lions versus the Cardinals in Arizona. I'm leaning more towards the Lions. And here's the thing. Marvin Harrison, an amazing game, 130 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. If he doesn't do that again, I think the Cardinals are in trouble. Last week, I gave the Cardinals a 5. I'm going to keep them at a 5.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Triple
reason,
fives right there.
yeah, they need Marvin Harrison to produce every single week. Last week, he didn't do anything. This week, like I said, it had an amazing MVP caliber type game. So yeah, I feel like the Lions are going to show up and beat the Cardinals in Arizona. But yeah, that's why I'm keeping the Cardinals at a 5.
Man, I hope you're right.
We'll see how it goes. And now we got to talk about the Bengals and the Chiefs, who unfortunately, I guess a penalty screws over the Bengals, and the Chiefs somehow win a game against the Bengals with a penalty. So yay!
You and Jake watched the end of this one together. That was a good finish.
I know that was a penalty. That was legit, but it's like it's so funny that all the Bengals fans are being like,
The penalty was definitely legit, definitely pass interference, but just the timing of the penalty was too poetic for the
yes,
outcome of that game.
yes. I think there's like I think honestly, number one would always be the Lions. That would always be like, man, a penalty always makes them lose a game. I think number 2 would probably be the Cincinnati Bengals, and somehow losing against the Chiefs is always this poetic. So as of right now, they lost 25-26. It was a close game. And then the field goal came and basically Harrison Butler basically kicked that field goal and made all those Bengals fans cry. So even though I got family members that are Bengals fans, they did lose. They're now 0-2. That is not a good sign. They did lose to the Patriots. They're not that good. I feel like I have to put them at a 3 right now. I think this is not that great right now. I'm a little bit worried about the Bengals. I think this is probably going to be a mid team. I don't think this team, if they're playing right this, they're not making the postseason right now. So, all right, Chris, you're both Ohio. What do you think about your rival, the Bengals?
Doug, does T. Higgins still play for the Bengals?
I mean, he doesn't play for them, but he's on their team.
Yeah, because like Doug was saying earlier, that T. Higgins has been doing nothing. Jamar Chase, I think he had a decent game. But yeah, it's not clicking for the Bengals right now. Last week I had him at a 4. I think they should have won that game. I know it was a legitimate call. It was definitely pass interference. But the way they played the Chiefs in Kansas City, last week at a 4. This week I'm gonna move them up to a 5. Actually,
What?
yeah.
They're 0-2. 0-2,
0-2.
Theodore. I mean, that's your opinion, but
it's how they played the game, though. It's how they played the game.
I'm sorry. Why?
Well, so Stu, I mean, I get Chris's point though. They were just at a team that we all agree is an 8, and they should have beat them on the road. Without T. Higgins, I don't know. I still think they're a 4 though. I haven't been high on them at any point. Like they played better than expected, but they still lost.
Yeah, they're 0-2, man. Theodore, you're just like.
Well, see, here's the thing, sir. Had they beat the Chiefs, and they were about to beat the Chiefs, if they would have beat the Chiefs, I would put them as a 6. But they barely lost to them. And it was in Kansas City last week. Stuart, you and I had the Chiefs at a 9. Doug had the Chiefs at an 8. So it's hard to think anything less of the Bengals because it was a very hard fought game. It was neck and neck for majority of the game.
All right, we'll see how it goes. But like I said, I agree to disagree. But I'm not feeling about these Bengals. And now we got to talk about the Chiefies. So let's start with you, Theodore. How do you feel about the Chiefies? Last week you gave them a 9. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, last week I gave them a 9, and I can't really stem away from a 9 when they won a game like that. How they won it, cool, whatever. A win is a win. So as long as the Chiefs are going to continue to win games, I'm going to keep them at a 9, their current market value.
All right, this is going to be the good question, Douglas.
But they did lose their starting running back, Isaiah Pacheco, for I think he's on the IR now for 4. No, actually, no, it's not even the IR. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so he's going to be gone for 6 to 8 weeks, 7 weeks. So that might be a blow. But I'll keep him at a 9.
Like I said, they still have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Keeping the trend of me stinking at fantasy football. Travis Kelce. Woo. 1 catch for 5 yards? Are you kidding me? I wish they would have lost because of that. Unreal. Like, what is going on with this? Well, whatever. I'm going to get sidetracked. I mean, like Chris said, they're still 1. I'm going to keep them at an 8. Like, they're still one of the best teams.
Are you ever going to give the Chiefs a 9 one of these days?
No. I don't
9 is a Super Bowl guarantee. Like making it to the Super Bowl. That's hard to do.
I mean, dude, they're in a division with the Los Angeles Chargers, dude. They're not even going to win their own division.
Who are mid? Oh my God!
The Chargers are 2-0.
They're not even going to win their division, Stu.
My God, you're giving me a hard. Oh my God. You know what? Cancel the podcast. We're done. Thanks, guys. We had a good one. I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyway.
Man, oh man. In Harbaugh we trust.
Oh my God. I got so triggered by this whole Chargers.
I'm out trolling the troll right now.
How dare you? Anyway, you are out trolling the troll. This is so much fun. Anyway, they're still a 9. Let's be honest. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. I will always repeat this. Strong opinion sports, and I still agree with this. As long as you have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you're still good. Let's be honest. You're going to be still fine. You lost your running back. We got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. We're still good. Oh, we lost this person. We're still got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. As long as you have those 2 people, I'm not lowering them down to a 9. So,
no, I respect it.
And then we got the Steelers versus the Denver Broncos, who, unfortunately, we'll start with you, Douglas. How do you feel about these Denver Broncos, who are now 0-2 right now, and Bo Nix is not looking good as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, he's struggling. I feel like I don't have much to say about them. Like, they're kind of what I expected them to be. Like, they don't seem like all that good. Like, they feel like a 3.
Wow, you gave him the 3 right now on the Bo
Nix. That even maybe feels high. I don't know, but
wow, you give so much hope, and I mean, I think a 3 might be really high for the Broncos, for Bronco Nation right now. You still gave him the 3. I still feel like that there's still a 2. I mean, granted, and the only reason why I'm going to give them the 2, they are 0-2, but they've at least been close to teams. They were close against the Steelers. I mean, I know they had an embarrassing loss against the Seahawks, but they've at least been close. But I just don't feel confident with this Bo Nix, and I don't think this Broncos team is that good. So, I think for right now, I got to give them the 2.
All right.
I gave the Broncos a 2 last week as well, and we're gonna keep them in the same exact ship at a 2. Reason being, they're traveling to Tampa Bay next week to play the Magician and Baker Mayfield himself. I can't see the Broncos winning that game. So yeah,
you did not see the Broncos winning that game. And then I guess we'll start with you, Christopher, right here. We got to talk about your favorite team. How do you what's the nice thing you got to say about your pitch? How do you feel about your Pittsburgh Steelers now being 2-0 right now with Justin Fields as a quarterback?
OH baby, IO, let's go. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about the Steelers at the current moment because they're 2-0. They're leading the division. We all had them at a 5 last week. I had them at a 5 preseason, and the way they're playing, I mean, they only scored 13 points, but it was also in Denver, mile high, whatever, maybe the altitude. Anyway, they're leading the division. They have an undefeated team. Give me a 6 for the Steelers.
Yes.
They're winning games. like God, what's his name? Tom? Nah, that's not Tom. What's the head coach's name for the Steelers?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean he's always had a winning season or 500 or above, and right now at 2-0, he's probably going to do it again.
My God, Tomlin's going to do this all over again. All right, Douglas, what's your thoughts about that?
I mean, I feel like I was a hater in the preseason, but they're just a team that knows how to win games. You got to respect it.
You gotta respect it.
They simply win, man. They simply win.
It's
Give me
crazy
a
to
six.
think that Justin Fields, was the starter, is now 2-0. Tomlin should get. I'm gonna say a coach of the year for Tomlin.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's only 2 games in, but at the current moment, yeah. But I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, honestly, am I crazy enough to think, should they just have Justin Fields as the starter instead of Russell Wilson?
I mean, I've thought about the whole time. Like, I think he is a better long-term option than Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I know they just did it just so they can just, hey, it's Russell Wilson. He's a veteran, but literally, man, this makes me more think that the Bears really did not know how to use Justin Fields.
Well, clearly, because they don't know how to use Caleb Williams either. Well,
Yeah.
Caleb Williams doesn't know how to play football, so but that's later.
Yeah, maybe it might be just the bad order, but I feel like maybe the bad organization. But like I said, I feel like for right now, you got to give them the 6. I think they're looking really good, and plus the Brownies are not looking as great. Baltimore's not looking as great. Bengals are not looking as great. Steelers are now 0-2, which is crazy to think. Are they going to be making the postseason? Are they going to win the NFC North, the AFC North? Am I crazy?
My one buddy did pick the Steelers to win the AFC North, but Stuart, I overheard you say when I stepped out a little bit, Tomlin, Coach of the Year. I think it's going to be between Harbaugh and Tomlin. But then next week we have the Chargers playing in Pittsburgh, so that's going to be a great game right there.
Let's get Tomlin. I want Tomlin, and I will always tell you this. I remember when Pittsburghers they like bitched and moaned and complained about Tomlin, like they wanted him gone for a few years. Douglas, when they didn't have Dan Campbell, how much would you sacrifice to have Tomlin as your head coach?
I don't know, Stu. I don't know. That's a silly.
You would kill to have Christopher when the Brownies were bad. You would have traded everything for Jim Caldwell to get out. No, Hugh Jackson to get out and have Tomlin as your head coach.
I would trade all my first-round picks for Mike Tomlin instead of all my first-round picks for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Oh my God. And now we got to talk about the final 4 games. This Sunday night game where the Chicago Bears got absolutely – Caleb Williams did not look good. Justin Fields looked a lot better. First time in a long time that Texans played a Sunday night football game and won a Sunday night football game. So we'll start with the Bears. Christopher, how do you feel about the Chicago Bears?
Duh, Bears. Let's see here.
They're bad.
Preseason, I
You
had them at
did
a
say
5.
that is Caleb Williams a bust. You had a hot take on the text that you said Caleb Williams is the bust.
I had Caleb. Remember we did that one podcast. It was the first round picks of like whether they're going to be a bust or they're going to excel. I had Caleb Williams being a bust. And currently, I don't see why I'm wrong with that statement. He's been playing terribly.
Also,
so Bears, they're 0-2, right?
yes, and you gave them a 4.
No, they're 1-1.
Yeah. No, 1-1. They're 1-1 because they should have been 0-2,
okay.
but then the Tennessee Titans decided to blow a 24-point lead when they had 17 points.
Oh, that's right. Will Levis throwing pick sixes. Or pick 6, not plural. Anyways, Bears. Let's see. I had them at a 4 last week. I'm gonna put them down to a 3.
Wow, you're putting them at the 4. All right, Douglas, you're up next.
Yeah, I don't know. I've lost a lot of confidence. I think I'm kind of slightly in the support of the Caleb Williams being a bust. I think I'll give him a 4 though.
Wow, you're running down right over here. Caleb Williams is not looking good. I gave him a 4 last week. They did look bad against the Texans. They did look bad. Feeling 4-3, 4-3. I'm like really contemplating right now. I don't feel like I can give a 1. I don't think I can give anyone a lower than a 3 if they had at least one win though. I feel like in my mind, I feel like 3 should be at least 2, have 2 losses or more. So I think even if I don't think the Tennessee Titans are not that good, but then the other hand, yeah, I just feel like Caleb Williams is the bust. But I think for right now, I got to give him the 4 for right now. I don't feel as confident for the Chicago Bears. I just don't feel like they're that great. I think everything but Caleb Williams is probably the problem. So we'll see. Prove me wrong, Caleb Williams. Prove me wrong. And now we got to talk about these Texans.
He's not going to prove anyone wrong. Caleb Williams, he holds on the ball way too long. He's been averaging over 4 seconds. Like you can't be doing that in the NFL.
And now we got to talk about these Texans who are now 2-0. CJ Stroud dominating the greatest Ohio State quarterback that made it to the pros right now. How do I feel about the Texans? They're looking legit. Where everyone else has been like mid to collapse to go, oh my God, this team is now god awful. The Texans have like stock as sword. I honestly feel like I got to give them the 8. I think they could make it to the AFC Championship. I think CJ Stroud could do it.
Wow.
I do feel confident on that one. So, also last week I gave him the 7.
Yeah, say last week we all gave him a 7.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm gonna keep him at the exact same place.
Wow.
The only other team from the AFC who I've given making it to the AFC Championship game, well, the Super Bowl, the Chiefs. I would possibly give the Texans an 8, but I'm gonna keep them as a.
You just don't feel as confident that they're gonna make it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, no, I'm Team Stu on this one. Throw me down for an 8.
Wow, we agree. High five on that one. We got an air 5 on that one, Douglas. We agree that this is the year of the Stroud, but I'm going to tell you this: I want them to lose. I want them to lose against the Cowboys.
He's gonna finally beat the Michigan man this year, Stu. He's gonna take the Chargers out of the playoffs.
Oh no!
Why are you saying no? That'd be Ohio State beating Michigan, pretty much.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
That would be.
Yeah. So why are you saying?
Yeah. Actually, that would be kind of hilarious. That would be kind of hilarious if CJ Stroud actually does actually beat Harbaugh. It's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun.
And now we got to talk about these frauds right here. The Eagles, who lost on Monday Night Football. Yes, I'm gonna say it. Yes, and this is my hating coming out. I'm sorry. This is haterade right now. This isn't water. And I think the Eagles are not that great. They did not look good. Just Jalen Hurts has not been that great right now. He already got 1 interception. Saquon Barkley dropped the ball. They barely beat a Falcons team. But, all right. Pushing all my hatred away. Eagles are terrible. I don't like Philly. How do I feel about the Eagles? They did lose to Philly. Anyway, I feel like for me, the Phillies. This is definitely the warning sign I talked about, where I was like, "This is not good," and I feel like that they still could probably make the postseason. But I do feel like there's a lot of warning signs right now, and I don't feel as confident right now. But I do think they could make the postseason. So since they didn't get blown out badly, I'll still give them the 6. But I definitely do feel like that this is the warning sign I'm hitting right now. So, all right, Christopher, you're up next.
Current market value, yeah, we all had them at a 7 last week. They should have won that game.
They blew that game.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 3 with like a minute and a half to go. They decided to throw it instead of running it, so I'm not sure what they were doing. NFL script writers. Anyways, I agree with you, Stu. Put him at a 6 because Saquon should have scored a touchdown. He had 3 touchdowns in that first game, but they gave him 95 yards rushing. And when your running back has 95 yards rushing, that's a pretty good game. So solid 6.
All right, Douglas.
Stu, I'll start this with a little off topic thing. One of my favorite memories with you is having a Philly cheesesteak in Philly. I love Philly.
How dare you?
I love Philly.
I'm on the podcast now. I'm sorry, guys. Bye.
I live
for
for
me.
Philly.
I go to bed. Turn off the lights.
You know, in a different world, I'm going to live in Philadelphia. But no, I think they're a 6. Like, I think that they're a playoff team, but like, I don't know. I mean, I still think they'll be dominant. Like, they don't have AJ Brown, which is a huge bummer. Another one of my draft picks. Let's go. So yeah, they're just a playoff team. I'm not too excited about them winning games or anything like that in the playoffs.
Yeah. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one. And then finally, we got the Falcons. So I can't believe it that the Falcons and Kirk Cousins actually came back with a minute and a half to score a touchdown where they had, at a certain point, this is actually the crazy part. So Philly had a 97.6% odds of winning this game, and they blew it. Kirk Cousins somehow scored a touchdown. This is like ridiculous. With 34 seconds left, oh my God, well, how do I feel about the Falcons? Last week I gave the Falcons. This was not a good Falcons team. My God, I gave the Falcons
game of 3.
They did beat a good Philly team. But I think like a 5? I'm going to give them up to the 4 for right now. I don't know. I still feel like there's still a little bit of warning sign. This is a good win for them. And also, thank you for embarrassing Philly. Falcons. I'm so appreciated and happy, but I think for right now, I definitely got to give them the 4. So, Christopher, you headed off.
They were able to get the win in an ugly fashion. I think they should be 0-2, but a win is a win. Last week I had the Falcons at a 4. Man, and like we talked about earlier, that AFC South division is tough. You got the Saints, you got the Buccaneers. So I'm going to have them at a 5 because they're 1-1, and currently if the playoffs started today, they'd be missing the playoffs. So yeah, I'm comfortable with a 5 for the Falcons.
You know, I was at a 5, and then after hearing you speak, Chris, you actually dropped me to a 4. I was like, you know, they should be 0-2. They lost at home. Like, they got lucky to win this one, and they're in a really hard division. I'm like, man, just the Saints and Buccaneers, that could easily be 4 losses right there.
Oh my
So I'm just like, man, oh man, like if they, I don't know. But I mean, they did beat the Eagles, which was cool, but only because of a little bit of luck.
Yes. And there you have it, gentlemen. We got week 2 down in the books. Now, do you have any predictions for week 3 on who you put some stock options on? I got mine 1. I'm putting the Steelers. I think the Steelers might be going up. I might pick the Vikings for some sneaky pick. We'll see. Packers I would definitely put some right there. And then maybe I'll put the Saints up there. I think I'll put some stock on the Saints.
I don't know about stock throwing it anywhere, but I'm really excited for this Cowboys-Ravens game. That's going to be a huge game.
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna have it? Someone's stock is gonna go up, and someone's stock is gonna be tanking right now.
I think I'd buy some Raven stock right now for sure.
How dare you?
Yeah, I agree with Doug. Yeah, Ravens, what we put them at, I think like a 5 or maybe even a 6. But yeah, they should win next week, whoever they're playing.
Mm-hmm. How dare you? I'm just saying.
Also the Browns. I don't know if I put them at a 5 this week or a 6, but look at the Browns moving up. They're playing the Giants this upcoming week at home. Then we play the Raiders in Las Vegas. So the Browns could be 3-1. So look at their stat potentially creeping up. That's also biased. I'm a Browns fan.
Yeah, I can't believe it. So And I will always say it. We got week 2 done in the books. Next week, we're going to talk about week number 3. Keep on chucking on for this one. It is funny that Fyodor's frozen with his head like in the side, like right over here. He's just like, it's like a model pose right over here.
As long as my voice isn't affected, we're all good.
Your
That's
voice is
funny.
affected, but it's so hilarious. He's just like sitting there like, oh my God, please have a meme on that one. That is so funny. But anyway, I will catch you later, everybody, Mr. Gators, because take care, because I will see you later soon. So bye-bye.